And guess what? It's time to register for next school year. So please listen and follow these instructions so you're choosing your classes for next year so I don't have to choose them for you. So here's our timeline. In advisory this week, you will get your registration materials and you can actually start entering classes in campus if you know what classes you're taking. But you will have 1 week, and in advisory next week on February 13th, we will collect the forms and you will enter your classes in campus. And this will finalize your classes for next school year. If you happen to be sick on the 13th, then I will grab you on the 20th or 21st to make up registering for classes. So this week during advisory, the first thing you'll look at is our registration guide. That's located on our website and your teacher will show you how to get there. Registration sheets will be distributed, so take a look at that sheet. You will work on your sheet during advisory and then take it home to review it with your parents so they know what classes you're taking. Make sure to bring the completed sheet back to advisory next week on February 13th, as then you will enter your classes in campus and be registered for next school year. On the registration sheet, the front page should have your name and grade on it, and if not, just write it in. First, you're going to go through and select your core classes. You can check the box in front of which English, math, science, and social studies class you need to take next year. Then take a look at other required classes that you need. For example, Phy-Ed, Health, Fine Arts, or STEM. Again, put a check marks next to those classes if you need to take any of those. Then on the back side of the sheet are your electives. This year, they're broken down by career cluster field. So knowing what career you want to go into in the future, take a look and see what classes would be appropriate for that career. Again, put a check mark box next to those classes that you plan on taking. You can choose classes from any of the boxes, but it's just a guideline for you to see what classes might be a good fit for the career you are interested in. Then last, you are going to circle 6 alternate courses that are different from your electives. These are classes that if I can't get you into your electives, I'm going to look at your alternate courses and put one of those in instead. If you forget to do your alternate courses, then I'm going to be choosing which course you go to instead of your elective one that you wanted. So here's a sheet. You can see that I'm going into 11th grade. So the first box I checked was English 11. I'm taking English 11 next year, followed by AP US History, followed by Algebra 2. So again, on the front side, you just have to make a check next to the classes you plan on taking. Just a reminder, you have to sign up for 18 classes and 6 alternates. On the back side, the STEM and Fine Arts classes are designated by icons as listed at the top. So in my case, I put check marks next to Accounting, Intro to Business Management, Intro to Anatomy and Physiology, and Intro to 3D Art. Those are the elective classes I plan on taking. Now my alternates I circled. So if I can't get into one of those electives, I circled Intro to Foods, Creative Writing, and Piano. If during the summer I'm working on your schedule and you can't get the electives, then I'll look at those alternates and put you in one of those classes instead. So again, use check marks and circles on your form to decide what classes you plan on registering for. If you're not sure about your career, you can go look at your PGP Activity 5 and you took a career assessment. See what came up high on that interest and then go look at the classes that are under that designation and maybe take some classes in that career field. This will give you an opportunity to see if it's a good fit for you and this is something you want to go into later in life. So the registration guide and forms are available online. So you simply go to Kennedy's website. There's a registration tab on the left-hand side, and the guide is there with all of the other information as well, including this video if you need to watch it again. On the registration guide, here are some pages you should definitely look at. On page 16, there's a list of our STEM classes. So if you're looking for the 1 credit you're required to take, look at the sheet that has the 4-petaled flower, or go to page 16 and look what classes are your options. To graduate, you also need 2 fine arts classes. So again, you can look at your sheet and look for that paint palette that designates fine arts, or go to page 19 in the guide and see the whole list of all of the fine arts courses. On pages 20 to 21, this shows you what is required for graduation. So if you're not sure what math class is required for graduation, go take a look at this page. We do have some new courses next year, which are exciting. So take a look at the new courses on pages 22 to 23, because there are some new fun and exciting classes that might be a great fit for you. Again, the guide has tons of other information, but you definitely should take a look at these pages. We do offer online classes for students. They're typically available in core subject areas. So for example, English 10, Algebra 2, Biology. All of the online classes are listed on page 14 if you want to see which classes are an option. The schedule on the right shows you where the online class will be placed in your schedule. So this student is taking English 10 online. So I've put the class in their 0 period, or their 0 hour. And then during the day, you can see that the online class fit in 6 hour for this student. So they're assigned to the Media Center and will be working on that class during 6 hour in the Media Center. It will not fall in a specific hour. It'll fall into the hour that it fits perfectly, so it could be any random hour, just an FYI. If you're wondering if you should take an online class, I would highly recommend that you have to be motivated, organized, disciplined, have time management skills, and know how to work technology. So if you plan on taking an online class, make sure these all fit you. Also, a lot of students think that online classes don't take as long. They usually take as long or longer each day to work on than a regular class. So make sure this is a good fit for you. And if you have questions, ask one of your core subject area teachers or your counselor. So here's what a 6-period schedule would look like. So again, you'll be registering for 18 classes. Note that all the core subject areas will be in Try 1, Try 2, and Try 3, which means you have to register for English 10A, B, and C. If you end up taking an online class, again, that class will be listed in the 0 hour, and then during the schedule, I'll put you in the Media Center to work on that online class. So it could be 6 hour, it could be 3rd hour, it could be 1st hour, depending on what schedule works. In the summer, we are offering PE 9, PE 10, and health only if you have a packed schedule and can't fit that in. So for example, you're taking a world language and music. You have the opportunity then to take these classes in the summer. There's no transportation provided though, so just be aware of that. Here's some commonly asked questions. Which math or science class should I take? If you're not sure, make sure you talk to your current math or science teacher. They will guide you and give you a good recommendation for next year. What about Phy-Ed 10 or health? I haven't been able to fit these in my schedule. Well, there's 2 ways to get them in your schedule. You could take it online, and then you could actually have 7 periods during the day instead of 6. So you would have to find time during your schedule in the evenings or mornings to work on that 7th period online class outside of the typical school day. Or if you have a packed schedule, music, AVID, world language, then you could sign up for a summer PE or health class. These are online classes again, but they will be offered in the summer. So you definitely have to have access to your Chromebook and be able to work on these throughout the summer. If you plan on doing PSEO, you still have to register. You won't know if you got into PSEO until later this spring, so make sure you register for high school classes. If you failed a class, register as if you're going into the next grade level, because hopefully most of you will come in and during summer school and make up this class. If not, I'll change your schedule and put you back in that class next year. If you plan on doing VOTEC, again, register for Kennedy classes first, and then see your counselor to apply for the VOTEC program. Some of you are going to be student assistants next year for our teachers, which is awesome, but you can't register for this. Register for regular classes, and then next school year, you can drop a class to be a student assistant. Some of you are taking Beacon classes. If that's the case, you have to register as a Kennedy student, and then Ms. Christensen and I will work on figuring out your schedule for next year. Career and College Academy classes. Now this is one students always get confused about. The courses are listed on the elective side on your sheet. However, to take a Career and College Academy class, you have to have 2, or in some cases 3, periods open in your schedule in one trimester. So you can see the junior schedule to the right. There's English 11, History, Chemistry, and Algebra 2. And then this student has room in their schedule for a BCCA class that is 5th and 6th hour because they have 2 periods open. Now, if the student was in a world language class, for example, Spanish, then that would probably be 5th hour and they would only have 1 period open, which means they can't take a BCCA class. These classes are 2 periods and are 2 credits, so you have to make sure that this will fit in your schedule. There are a couple 3-period classes through BCCA, the Auto Pathway, and the Engineering, Robotics, and Manufacturing Pathway. So if that's the case, you have to make sure that you have 3 periods open in your schedule for these. More information about these classes will be available in the guide, so take a look at these classes, read through it, and then just make sure they fit in your schedule. All right, so if you are ready and you think you're going to register or want to start registering, here's how you do it. You log into Campus, you'll click on Academic Planner, circled in red, scroll to the bottom and hit Next. And some of you on your computer screens on your Chromebook, it's hard to see that Next button, so minimize your screen so that you can see that. So hit the Next button. It will then take you to the registration page. Go to your grade level. So for this student, they are registering for grade 10. They're already done with 9th grade, so they're registering for grade 10. So you go into the box of each subject area, starting with language arts, and you choose the classes. Now, be very careful about selecting your classes. You can see English 10 and English 10 Online are right next to each other. Make sure you're choosing the right class. So again, you will have to select English 10A, English 10B, and English 10C because you have to take English all 3 trimesters. So enter language arts and then continue on down the screen going through all of the areas. Some classes are located in the Fine Arts column or the STEM column, so make sure you're in the right category when selecting classes. The key is to get to 18. If you can see at the top of the screen, this 10th grader has not registered for enough because there's 0 out of 18. And once you have 18 entered, you will hit Save. Make sure you save your registration. Otherwise, I will be picking your classes for you. At the bottom of the screen, this is where you'll enter your alternates, the 6 classes that are different from the classes you've entered at the top. Again, enter the classes and then hit the Save button at the top. Okay, a quick, easy way to find the class is click in that box and start typing a word in the class. For example, if I was looking for foods, I would type in foods, and any class with the title foods in it will pop up, and then I'll select the one I want. So that's a little easy way to get the classes entered. Again, make sure you save it, and a warning box will come up once you click Save. It tells you all kinds of minimum requirements that aren't met. Ignore those. The key is look where that star is. If it says course plan was saved, then you're good to go and your classes were saved, and you can log out of Campus. Again, registration will only take place during advisory, so make sure you are prepared to go on February 13th. Talk to your teachers, talk to your parents, and be ready to register. The guide and registration sheets and all kinds of other information is on the website, so if you lose your sheet, just go to the website and print off a new copy. If you do have questions, make sure to see your subject area teacher or schedule an appointment to come down and talk to your counselor. Make sure you take care of this before registration so you know all of your questions are answered. Once you've entered classes in Campus, I will be emailing your parents and they will have to approve on the classes that you are taking. So if you're trying to register for classes you know they won't like, then I would recommend you put in the classes that you have discussed